All right, we're live on Facebook. We'll go share through. You want to come on the show with me? Yeah? Here, you can sit.
You want to come on the show? No. Yeah. No. Sit here. No, you're not allowed. Why? I can't Lucy go on the show.
You can put these on if you want to wear them. Sit
here.
There you go. Hi, Nikki. Hey, Bob. Thanks for tuning in. See? Hi, Colleen. Hi, Diane. Thanks for tuning in. What's up, Bob? So if you want to talk, you can talk. And Mike, you want to talk in that spot right there.
Solely those of the hosts and their guests, not those of W4CY Radio, its employees or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for any show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, should be extended to W4CY Radio, its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to the host. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
I'll just wait later. Hi, Grandma.
Hi, Mom. Welcome to the Epic Love Radio Show. My name is Travis Suit. I'm here with my co-host, Piper. Say hello.
Hi.
And we are celebrating our 85th episode. We have a very special guest coming on the show with us this evening, Trevor Hall, ladies and gentlemen. Very excited. Want to give a shout out to the Piper's Angels Foundation for Cystic Fibrosis. This show is brought to you by the foundation who supports and improves the lives of families in the cystic fibrosis community. This is a very important time in the CF community with everything that's going on. So we want to make sure that everybody knows how much we love them out there. Stay safe. And the Epic Love Radio Show, the mission and the purpose is to share inspiring stories of love through action. And the gentleman who we have on today is a great example of that. A big shout out to our supporting sponsors, Bahama Boatworks, Hensler Financial, Margaritaville, and Vertex Pharmaceuticals. This show and The Crossing would not be possible without you and your support. And just remember that this show will be available for playback on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Pandora. So you can check it out later. You could share it with friends. Want to give a shout out to everybody out there in Facebook land. Wave, Piper. Hey, thank you for tuning in this evening. We appreciate the love. If you have any questions, you're welcome to drop them in the comment box. If you have any comments or questions, we will be monitoring that. So I want to run over a few updates because obviously with the current health crisis with the coronavirus, it's definitely changing some things dynamically out there in the landscape of the cystic fibrosis community and our community locally in Don. So right now we have 93 days to go until our Crossing for Cystic Fibrosis Bahamas, Florida paddle event in June. We are at $186,754 in fundraising, and the status of the event is as such. We are planning moving forward as usual, normal business mode of operation, and we are going to wait in a holding pattern until we see what's going on in a month or so as things shape up. We've got a little bit of a runway going towards June 20th, Father's Day weekend, and so we're going to just kind of wait and see what's going on and what's happening as things play out. So hold tight. We appreciate everybody and all of your support in the meantime. So another update on the Piper's Angels Foundation front, we did achieve platinum status on GuideStar, which is a big success. So that was up from gold status last year. GuideStar is an organization online that follows the progress of nonprofits. And so you can go onto GuideStar and search Piper's Angels Foundation, look up any of the financials or metrics if you want to check them out online. Thanks, Jennifer. Hey, Mom, thanks for tuning in, and everybody out there in Facebook land. Shout out to Jason, our audio engineer.
Hello.
Hey, you got a dad joke for us?
No, I got two.
Oh, let's hear them.
We had to make up for the one I missed last week, so we had a good show last week, so I need to get them all in. All right. So a snail goes into an auto body shop and requests a new paint job for his car. He tells the mechanic, I want the whole thing painted red, and then I want a big letter S painted on the left side, a big S painted on the right side, and another big S painted on the back. The mechanic says, that's doable, but I gotta ask, what's with all the S's? The snail replies, it's so when I'm driving down the interstate and I pass all the other cars, they shout, look at that S car go.
But
Got it. And then,
good one.
Right. So when I was a kid, my mom would send me to the store with $5. I would come back with a bag of potatoes, 3 loaves of bread, a gallon of milk, a dozen eggs, and a block of cheese. You can't do that these days. Too many security cameras.
Good ones. Thank you for those dad jokes. How'd you like those, Piper?
Good.
All right.
Good. Fantastic.
I didn't get the first one. I'm confused.
Well, remember we were talking about that giant African snail earlier?
Yeah.
So escargot is when you cook snails and eat them.
Oh.
So they put S's so when they go by, they say, oh, look at that escargot. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes. Yeah, and a shout out to Danny and Lucy, who we have here off camera, but in studio today as well. Thank you for being here. All right. So, with everything going on out there, I just want to say to the cystic fibrosis community, everybody tuning in and listening, this whole social distancing is something that people with cystic fibrosis face day in and day out from the time they're diagnosed with the disease. So they have to wash their hands, right? They use hand sanitizer. They avoid going to places where there are sick people. They wear masks in public transit and when they're in big crowds. So this is absolute normal protocol for people in the CF community. And although there may be this new risk out there, it's very much normal. So everybody's getting a unique perspective on what it's like to live with cystic fibrosis. So I just got the signal from Mr. Jason that we've got our guest on the line, Mr. Trevor Hall. Are you there?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing very well. Great to have you on the show, Trevor.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And I'm here. My daughter's actually sitting next to me. My daughter, Piper. Say hello.
Hi.
How you doing, sweetie?
So thank you so much, Trevor, for joining us. I'm just going to give a quick rundown for all those out there who are tuned in and listening. Trevor Hall, his music is a blend of roots and folk music and imbued with a deep love of Eastern traditions. The music that speaks to the soul through lyrical energy and is fueled on questions about the human condition and an awareness of our consciousness in the universe. And Trevor has quickly matured and is a leader in the burgeoning conscious musical community. And along with numerous pilgrimages to India, he has also completed a series of sold-out tours and collaborations with artists such as Steel Pulse, Ziggy Marley, Modest Yahoo, Michael Franti, Javier Rudd, and Nako. Pretty outstanding there, Trevor.
I've been lucky, man. I've been blessed.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And I just first and foremost want to say thank you for what you do. I wanted to express my sincere gratitude for your music, It's been there with me in many beautiful life experiences and through some difficult times. So it's been some great musical medicine on my end of the equation.
Well, good, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So with everything going on out there, I know I got the email update because I had purchased tickets to the first show date here in Florida at Terra Firmata that this tour is being rescheduled. Is that correct?
Yeah, the tour's been rescheduled till about, I think it's late April, like early September. We're, of course, we're bummed. But we have to take the necessary, precautions just to protect our communities and not, support the spread of this virus and everything going on. So we feel like we definitely made the right decision and are looking forward to getting out there in April and September.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I've got the rescheduled show for everybody here in our local community down here in South Florida for the Terra Firmata show. It's rescheduled for August 27th. So we will be looking forward to that. So now that the tour has been rescheduled, what is your plan kind of in this time frame, in this off time?
Well, I think I'm still kind of figuring it out. It's kind of an interesting time. Or it's not kind of, it's a very interesting time. And, every day we're getting all this new information. And things are changing almost, hourly in a way. So we're mainly just trying to stay relaxed and make use of our time at home. Being a traveling musician, as a band leader, we don't get a lot of time. So we're trying to just make use of it, and do things that we don't normally get to do because of our travel schedule. So we're trying to use this time in a positive way, despite everything going on. Using it for introspection and meditation and trying to continue to be creative and in whatever way we can. But again, we're still kind of digesting everything going on and taking it day by day.
Yeah, absolutely. With everything that's going on, what does, kind of the current climate out there, what does this health crisis, mean to you in respect to, your work and the communities that support you?
Well, it's really tough, because the main part of our journeys, I guess, as musicians, is we're kind of, married to the road in a way, And the road is where we are able to share our gifts, that we've been given, and also connect with our communities and fans, and also just the people within our group, the people that work for us, whether it's sound or lights or, bus drivers, merch. So many people rely on being out on the road, So it really affects a great deal of people, not only, within our camp, even the people that work at venues and whether they're, bartenders or doormen or security, all this stuff is still on board. Those are the people that I really kind of send my love out to and send my heart out to, because, I'm lucky enough to not worry too much, about financial things during this time. I'm able to kind of, take it as a time to rest, but it's really those people that really rely on their jobs to live. That's where my heart really aches and hurts. But unfortunately, we have to, we have to do this as a global community, to kind of keep everyone safe and healthy and just continue on. It's a difficult time for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so What would be your message at this time for people who are out there and they're kind of taking this break and they're looking around and they're wondering what's going on, and maybe some people are scared, or even like my daughter Piper, she's 12 years old. She's now, her school's canceled, it's going online, and things are really really different. And from a 12-year-old's perspective, this is kind of a really interesting event going on globally. What would your message
Right.
What would your message be to them?
Well, I think that, I got a message from one of my teachers just the other night saying, that the hurricanes and tornadoes don't blow forever. And we have to remember that everything, even in history, everything comes and goes. And we have to be fearless. We have to be bold and not give into fear or paranoia or anxiety. We have to be smart. We have to really band together. Even though we're isolated, my wife and I were talking about this morning. Even though we're isolated, it's weird. We almost feel like a greater sense of togetherness right now. Because everybody's kind of binding together. So it's it's an interesting time. We just have to remember that everything passes. Take the necessary precautions and steps to, do what we need to do to stay healthy as a community, out of every dark thing or bad thing, there's always something that we can, learn from or draw a positive out of, In one sense, this kind of thought that, to our humanity has really helped the environment, right? It's helped pollution, it's helped water, it's helped so many different things, in regards to environmental health. Because, everybody's not out and running around, so there are, things that we can look to that are positive, but I think overall it's a good time to really go within, really go within, and so much of our lives are so external, all of our energies are always going out, our senses are always going out, and maybe this is a time from the supreme spirit or being or whatever, to return within and really just, think about your life and take a look inside, It's weird. It's a wacky time. I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it seems as if, if the earth had a message, it seems like she's telling us to slow down a little. So I think that reflection is really beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, to switch gears a little bit, you recently, your latest album, The Fruitful Darkness, came out, and I was not aware. I'd been listening to the album, but I was not aware of the title in relation to the Joan Halifax book, and so I dove into that actually with a friend of mine, and we started listening and reading, and wow, what a transformational piece! That book has so many powerful messages. I feel like I could spend a couple years just unpacking it.
Of course, yeah.
It's
one of those books that you can definitely read over and over. I was very, very blessed to come across it at a really kind of, I guess you could say, transitional or dark, period, or a great period of intersection, my wife and I were up in upstate New York, random, little town, and there was a bookshop, and we were just looking around, and the title just kind of, caught my attention, and I bought the book, but I didn't read it for so long. I just kind of bought it and put it on the bookshelf at home, and thought, one day I'd get to it. And then it was my wife who started to read it first, almost like, I don't know, 6 months to a year later.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my gosh, this book, you're going to love this book. And I was like, what book is that? She's like, you bought it, and it was really really, really powerful for me to read, and I'm happy that a lot of people have come into contact with the book after listening to the album. Rosie Jones is such an inspirational figure, and she has so much experience, from the past. So it was really nice to kind of use that, some of those lessons and things in that book for the inspiration for the album.
Well, you got to meet her, right?
I did, yeah, I met her, but it was way before. We bought the book, which is kind of funny. I just bought the book based on the title, and then my wife was like, as she's reading it, she's like, "Oh, like it was so cool to meet her." And I was like, "What? Like, did you meet her?" So it was kind of a cool, full circle moment. But we met her. Yeah, we met her at Ron Josh's house in Maui. Maybe I don't know, maybe two years before we got the book. So it was a really cool kind of full circle journey.
Well, and one thing that just digesting the material that I took away, which was really beautiful, was, and I think it's pertinent to what's going on right now, is just that this idea of the world wound and the cultural wound, and how when we heal ourselves as a piece of humanity, as a piece of the world, we're healing the world as well.
Right. Well, I think our what we are feeling inside is what we project. So for instance, if we're driving down the street and we're hungry, we're only going to be focused on the restaurant, Or if we're driving down the street and our car's about to run out of gas, we're only going to be focused on finding a gas station.
Right.
Right. So whatever our internal world is speaking to us, that's what we're going to see, and that's what we're going to put out. That energy is what we're going to put out. So when we look at the world now, when we look at war, or we look at I don't know, greed, and whatever it is, these things, it's really because of our own internal self, being tainted with, I think, negative qualities, pain, or greed, selfishness, envy, all these things, right?
Yeah.
But when our internal world is tainted with love and compassion and service, these types of things, the whole world changes, and I think the greatest kind of act of what's the word I'm looking for? The greatest act of kind of rebellion, almost, in a way, right, is to change ourselves.
Right.
Is to take this internal journey within, and really find out who we are in essence, and share that love and light with everyone around us. I think that's the root of it all. So Rosie Jones' book really helps in that respect, and that's what I use a lot of my music for. To try to navigate that internal world, and again, use the music to share whatever love and light and all those things.
Well, you've done a remarkable job, and The Fruitful Darkness as an album holistically, it just delivers so much meaning on so many different levels. And
thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really rich. So take us back. So, I've got Piper here in studio with me. What was Trevor Hall doing at 12 years old? Where did the journey begin back in the day?
Well, that's kind of when my journey really began. I was living in South Carolina with my family, of course, and my dad was a drummer, so he's a musician, and always had instruments and all these things around the house and was always very musical, so that I think naturally rubbed off on me. And it was around 12 years old when I really started to like focus on learning the guitar and learning songs of bands that I liked and all this stuff.
And who were you digging back then? Like who were you looking up to?
Well, I went through all these different phases, and I went through like a punk rock phase, and I was like really into like Blink-182 and Left and Jake and all these kind of the Mighty Mighty Bosstones, and I was into kind of that world, and then a little while after that I started to really get into surfing, and through surfing I started to kind of get into surf culture and the music that kind of I guess it comes from that or is inspired by that culture, and I started really getting into Bob Marley and reggae music and Ben Harper and Jack Johnson and kind of all these more acoustic sounds versus just like punk rock,
Right.
And that's when I kind of like really started, I guess, feeling something different, with, like music gave me something different in my body and soul. It's like, this is I guess, a spiritual thing,
Right.
And that's when I think I started to kind of use music as a shelter from everything going on outside, or use music as a tool to explore places that I didn't know, my own imagination and all this stuff. So I was lucky that my journey started quite young.
Yeah. And who were your influences at that time when did you have any mentors or people in your life that helped kind of guide you through that process?
Yeah, of course. I mean, my dad was really, really influential, and just like giving me all different types of music and this, but it was when I really kind of turned 16. I went out to California, and through a matter of different circumstances, I met the percussionist Leon Mosley for Ben Harper and the Criminals, and at that time Ben Harper was like my favorite musician, and so to me the member of this band was like super big for me. And Leon was really, really loving and sweet to me. He really took me under his wing and just kind of showed me the ropes of like not only music but also of like the music business, and,
Right.
and kind of made me strong and kind of looked out for me a lot. And it's really amazing to still have this relationship with him today. He's a really amazing person. So Leon was definitely one of the biggest kind of guiding lights for me at that time.
Okay. Awesome. So this show, Epic Love, is about we strive to share inspiring stories of love through action, and you're a great example of that. But is there anybody who stands out in your mind that you've come across in your journey, and it could be family, friends, it could be anybody who really is an example of that comes to mind when you think about an inspiring story of love through action?
Oh yeah, too many. I'm blessed to have too many people that inspire me. There's so many. I mean, a lot of my moments of, I guess you could say, epic love have been experienced through almost strangers in a way. And I think that's what kind of makes that love so powerful, right? Is that,
Right.
We don't really expect love from strangers. We expect love from people that we know, family members or friends or whatever, like this. But some of my greatest moments of experiencing raw, pure, like unselfish love have been with people that I just met, or I didn't know before. For instance, a lot of those moments have taken place in India, Nepal, because in those cultures they have an expression of Iti Deva Bhava, which means the guest is God, and their culture really strives on service and serving strangers, I guess, But yeah, I mean, one of my favorite, I don't know, people is our ashram in India. There's a chai stand, a tea stand across the street, that's made out of like bamboo. It's not
Right.
like a real structure.
Yeah.
It's like bamboo and heart, really poor people. But they carry themselves with such dignity and grace that it would put, anybody to shame,
Right.
And I remember the first time just going there and getting a cup of tea, and the grandmother of the family who helped run the shop just, just right away, sitting right next to me and rubbing her hand through my hair, and asking where I came from, and giving me, 3 cups of tea, and that was back in 2007, and now today I stood back there, I don't know, countless times, and now we're like family, and I cry every time I have to leave her,
Yeah.
But I don't think that this, epic love, when you think of the word epic, it's like, it's huge, right? It's big. And, for me, epic love is not some grand gesture. It's not something like, oh, I fed thousands of people, or I bought you this, like, Ferrari, or whatever.
Right.
The most epic love for me is in the simple gestures, of really truly being with someone, really being present with someone. Sitting with somebody that you feel their undivided attention, around you, no judgment, giving somebody a cup of tea with like full love, those are my moments of epic love, not so much in grand gestures, but in the simple acts of giving and unselfishness.
Yeah. Well, that's a beautiful explanation, and maybe one of the best I've ever heard. So thank you so much for sharing that. That was.
You haven't talked to enough people.
Yeah. Well, so when you are in a creative mode, what do you do to create kind of a clear channel, right? Like what practices do you have that really help you write, or how do the lyrics, come to you? How do you channel that way creatively?
For me, there's no kind of set method, the act of writing, of making music itself is the act of clearing the channel in a way. It's like, it's the path, but it's also the goal, it's kind of that weird thing, where, I could be in like the most uninspiring hotel room in the middle of nowhere, and something will just come through so powerfully, and I'm like, whoa, or I can be in the most beautiful place, with so much stimulus and all this stuff, and be totally closed off, For me, it's just about, I guess, honoring, when it wants to come through, and not having any judgment of when and where and why and all this stuff. It's just about kind of, being present and fully letting go of any preconceived notions or ideas. It's really about letting go, of judgments and all these types of things. For me, music and creating and all this stuff is kind of the only time when I feel
Right.
or shut off. It's like through sound I can reach a place of silence, which is really mystical for me. It's cool. So I don't really have to answer your question better. I don't really have like a routine. It's not like, oh, I meditate for 10 minutes, whatever it is. It's not like that. It's just kind of a flow. And when it comes, it's like, okay, we're doing this now, and everything else has to kind of stop. So that's kind of, that's me. I don't know if other artists have certain rituals or things that they need to do to be in a safe space, but for me, it's just kind of, I don't know, it comes when it comes, and when it's not coming, it's not coming.
So, I'm curious. I was watching an interview when I was a kid of Jay Leno. He was interviewing Garth Brooks, and he had asked Garth Brooks, well, what is, out of all the songs you've ever sung, what's the most meaningful song, or is there, what song touches you the most when you're sharing it with, your fans? Is there a particular song that you've written, or one that is your favorite song that really it's your full heart and it speaks the most for you?
Yeah, I think there's a few, I think there's a few that I really hold dear. I mean, obviously I hold them all dear with some capacity, but there's definitely certain songs that are super sacred to me, and no matter how many times I play them, I'm kind of just transported into them.
Yeah.
The song "Chapter of the Forest" has always been one of those songs for me, whether I'm listening to it or playing it live. It's always a song that really just, I don't know, just melts me into the space of, when and how it was written. And it's a great reminder for me when I'm kind of feeling stuck or off the path. Another one would definitely be "Still Water." Again, just a song that no matter how many times I play it, I'm meeting something new with. But those are kind of the two that come to mind at the moment for sure.
Yeah, so the song "You Can't Rush Your Healing," for me, that song, every time it just melts me. It doesn't matter where I am, if I'm in my van or at home, or when it picks up on Pandora, there's something about it, and I'm just so appreciative. Yeah, that song speaks to me on so many levels, and I think for so many people, healing and what it means to them and where they are, it's so simple but so powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
So, when you're on the road, what does that look like for you in terms of, when you're going town to town and, you're trying to get a break, or you're in process, on the bus or traveling with your road family, are there any fun rituals or traditions that you guys kind of take on the road with you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm very, very blessed to have the band of crew that I have. We're all kind of on the same page. None of us really party or are loud or whatever. We all are kind of interested in the same things. Like I think most of our rituals, I guess, around food. We're all kind of foodies, and we like to find good spots to eat and this and that when we're on the road. But for us, the road is it always has its pluses and minuses. I mean, even though we're moving from town to town and we're always on the go, there is a great sense of purpose, when you're out there. You're like, you can't really think about too many other things. It's so busy with and every day, like, okay, I know what I'm doing today. I'm waking up, and whatever. Everybody has their own routines, whether you're doing yoga or working out or going to a coffee shop, and then we come back, and then we have sound check, and then, okay, we all know we're going to play this show, you know. It provides a great sense of purpose, you know. Of course, it's very tiring, and we get extremely exhausted at certain points. But that sense of purpose is really great. And I think all of us as a band and crew really value that. The opportunity, you know, to have a sense of purpose, I think is really important. But yeah, we don't really have, I mean, every time before we play a show, we always kind of huddle up, we take 3 deep breaths, and we kind of sit together for a little bit in silence, and then we say a little prayer, and then we just kind of jump out there and do our thing. And that's about it. Nothing too crazy. We're kind of boring, I guess, in that sense.
Well, do you have a favorite music venue when you're on the road in the States?
Yeah, there's a lot of places I love to play, and one of my favorite places to play is actually here in Boulder. Called the Boulder Theater. It's just a beautiful room and kind of like my favorite size venue to play.
And what size is that? What is the audience there?
It's about 1,100, you know, people for that theater. There's a lot of towns I like to play no matter what. I love playing Chicago. I love playing the Pacific Northwest. It's just so gorgeous. You know, I love playing Boston. They always, just because of their spirit, and they've been so good to us over the years. So, yeah, there's definitely venues that I really hold close to my heart for sure.
Well, we're very excited to have you back down in Florida on the Florida tour.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few fans in the area who are super excited that you were coming on the show and coming to the area. And I want to bounce back just because, so the organization that produces this show is called the Piper's Angels Foundation, in name after my daughter Piper. And we support families with cystic fibrosis. And our family's been touched by the disease, and so we do everything we can to support, you know, other families who maybe find some challenges along their journey, and we can be there in support of them in advocacy and other resources. I was reading on your website that you support children's education in India, and I thought that was really, really awesome. Could you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that's something that we've said that has come from, you know, not really, it's not like we came together and formed like an organization, you know, or a nonprofit or anything like that. It was just very kind of small. After going to India, I stayed in an ashram there, and at that ashram, the head of that ashram, the monk of that ashram, takes care of all these orphan boys and underprivileged, you know, children. And I really just fell in love with them. They're just amazing kids and just so inspiring, and really changed my life. So when I came back from that trip in 2007, I just started putting a jar, literally, or like a cardboard box out at our merch table, and, you know, just a donation for kids, you know, in India. That was it. It wasn't like a big thing. But slowly, after, you know, a few bucks here, a this show, a few bucks there, you know, we started to raise like a good amount of money, and we would send it to our teacher in India to take care of the children. And over the years, we've been able to pay for all their education and schooling and food and clothing, and, you know, because the head of the ashram, he's a monk, he doesn't make any money, he only accepts money by donation. That's the tradition, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, so we've been able to really provide them And I think maybe 6 or 7 years back, we raised enough money to build a girls' restaurant just across the river. So now we have
Wow.
about 12 girls that we're taking care of. So it's just been a really beautiful experience, and we're really, really grateful to have the opportunity to serve them.
That's a really incredible effort that you've been able to bring together and build community there. That's really beautiful. So you go back and forth to India a couple times a year, or what's the frequency you get to travel over there?
I used to go a lot more. I used to go every year, but it's kind of slowed down just a bit. It's just with work and we haven't been able to go every year, but we do go very often. We try to get over there as much as we can.
Very nice. Well, we've got a few minutes left here on the show, and I've got one last question for you, kind of just for the audience out there. Your music speaks to so many people in such a beautiful way and on many different levels. And so for somebody who's going through a hard time, or embracing a personal kind of dark night of their own, what gift of wisdom would you give them as they're facing that?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
So what gift of wisdom would you give somebody who is maybe struggling or really embracing kind of their own personal dark night and going through something right now?
I would say that don't ignore it. It could be the greatest blessing of your life. And I know that's hard to hear and seems ironic or whatever, opposite of what you're thinking, but it's in the periods of struggle and suffering and darkness that we are able to kind of get into our raw self, we're able to strip away so much and learn so much from those spaces. And like I said earlier, when we were talking about this virus going on, everything comes and goes. Everything comes and goes. And it's up to us to be strong and be fearless and move forward with strength and love and all those beautiful things. But don't ignore it, because that darkness can be fruitful and give you some of the greatest lessons of your life, for sure.
Well, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So this Friday, you've got a new single being dropped that is also featuring Brett Dennen. Put Down What You Are Carrying is the title of the song. Where could people find that song when it's released on Friday?
We're really excited. It's been a minute since we put out some new music since The Fruitful Darkness, but this song was inspired by a bunch of different things. But it came together in a fun way. We recorded it in a hotel room on our day off in Washington somewhere when we were on tour this past summer with John Butler Trio. And it's kind of evolved since then, and I'm super grateful to have Brett, sing on the song. But yes, the song comes out this Friday. It's going to be available on all digital platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. And we'll definitely be posting about it on our Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. So we're looking forward for people to hear it and to spread the word. Awesome.
Well, Trevor, thank you very much. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the Epic Love Radio Show.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and we look forward to having you down here in August as the schedule picks up for the tour, and we'll be sharing the love and promoting the positive and sending love and light to your family and to everybody out there that are in the Trevor Hall community. Thank you
so much. Yeah, y'all stay safe.
We will. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was awesome. Man, talk about a full download of so much inspiration there with Trevor Hall. You guys can check him out, Trevor Hall, on Instagram and Facebook. We'll be posting some updates on our page here. Look out for that new single being dropped on Friday with Brett Dennen, Put Down What You Are Carrying. And as always, you can listen to this episode on playback on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Pandora. Thank you to everybody out there in Facebook land who tuned in. We really appreciate all the love and support. And we will be back next week with another episode of Epic Love Radio, sharing inspiring stories of love through action. It's still live on Facebook, so. Here. Use this after touching that money. Is this what Danny gave? Thanks, everybody. We love you.
I think you had the best question of it anyway. Travis needs to take over for you.
I agree.
Yeah.